If you think the first thing you drink in the morning doesn't matter, I need you to stay with me, because what I'm about to reveal may explain why some seniors wake up with numbers that scare them, why some people think their medication has stopped working when it hasn't, and why one so-called healthy morning drink may be quietly pushing blood pressure in the wrong direction. Some drinks can help. A few have surprisingly real evidence behind them. One of them can start affecting blood pressure within hours, not weeks. Another has research showing meaningful reductions, especially in people whose numbers are already running high. And a few simple morning drink swaps can stop you from accidentally pushing your numbers upward before noon. But if you believe any drink is a magic replacement for prescribed blood pressure medication, that belief can put you in danger. Because the biggest mistake people make is not just choosing the wrong drink. It's misunderstanding what their morning blood pressure actually means. Your pressure is often highest in the morning. That early surge is real. Your body is waking up. Hormones are shifting. Blood vessels are responding. Your system is moving from nighttime rest into daytime alertness. So when a senior wakes up, checks a reading, sees a high number, and then grabs the nearest drink, hoping to bring it down instantly, they are often mixing physiology, fear, and bad information all at once. And that's when mistakes happen. Picture Robert, 72 years old. He wakes up, feels a little pressure in his head, checks his blood pressure immediately, sees a reading that's higher than yesterday, panics, and starts doing what the internet told him. A giant coffee because someone said coffee helps circulation. Then a sweet bottled juice because fruit must be healthy. Then another reading 20 minutes later, higher. Now he's frightened. He thinks his medication failed. He considers doubling a dose without calling his doctor. That is exactly how people turn a manageable health condition into a dangerous morning spiral. So by the end of this video, you're going to know which morning drinks actually make sense, which ones are overrated, which ones quietly sabotage you, and which single drink has the strongest evidence for lowering blood pressure in the short term. And I'm saving that one for last. But before I reveal number one, you need to understand the rule that changes everything. A drink can help your blood pressure in one of three ways. First, it can directly affect the blood vessels themselves. Second, it can support the overall eating pattern that lowers blood pressure over time. And third, and this is the one almost nobody talks about, it can replace a drink that was raising your pressure or giving you a falsely high reading in the first place. That third category is much more powerful than most people realize. So let's begin. Number 6, plain water first thing in the morning. I know, that doesn't sound dramatic. It doesn't sound exotic. No miracle berry, no secret root, no special powder from a commercial, just water. And yet I want you to pay close attention, because plain water may be the most underrated morning blood pressure move seniors can make. When you sleep, you go hour after hour without drinking. Your body wakes up after a long, dry stretch. Not everyone becomes significantly dehydrated overnight, but many older adults do wake up a little behind. And when you start the day underhydrated, everything feels off. You may feel sluggish, headachy, heavy, tense. Some people mistake that feeling for, my pressure must be high, and then they start making bad decisions. Now, I need to be very precise here. Water is not a guaranteed instant blood pressure reducer for everyone. It is not a substitute for medication. It is not going to erase severe hypertension. But water is the most heart-healthy default beverage. That matters. Because if the first thing you reach for every morning is not water, but a sugary coffee, an energy drink, a salty canned beverage, or alcohol left over from the night before, you've already moved in the wrong direction. There's another reason water matters. Sometimes what people are trying to treat is not true dangerous elevation. It's the normal morning surge combined with stress, poor measurement timing, and stimulants. Water slows you down. It gives you a neutral starting point. It helps prevent the most common mistake, which is throwing caffeine or sugar into an already activated system before you even know what your real resting number is. The Heart Foundation puts it simply, water is the most heart-healthy drink, and for seniors, that simplicity is power. Picture Helen, 69. Every morning she woke up and went straight to flavored coffee. Not water, not breakfast, not calm, just sweet caffeine on an empty stomach. She felt jittery by 8:30, measured her pressure, saw a reading she hated, and assumed her body was falling apart. But the real issue wasn't that water was some miracle cure. The real issue was that she had no stable baseline. Once she changed the sequence, water first, sit quietly, measure properly, then decide what to drink next, the chaos started disappearing. That's why number 6 is water, not because it's flashy, because it gives your morning a safe foundation. Number 5, unsweetened, low-fat milk or calcium-fortified soy milk. This is where many people get surprised. They think blood pressure drinks must be herbal, bitter, or trendy. But one of the most evidence-based patterns for lowering blood pressure is the DASH approach, and that pattern emphasizes nutrients like potassium, calcium, and magnesium. Those minerals matter because they support the systems that regulate vascular tone, fluid balance, and pressure inside your arteries. And beverages can be part of that pattern. Low-fat dairy can fit. So can calcium-fortified plant milks, especially unsweetened ones. Not dessert drinks pretending to be milk. Not sugar bombs with oat on the label. I'm talking about simple, lower-sugar, sensible options that support the overall nutrient pattern known to help blood pressure. Now let me be crystal clear. This is not the drink that drops your top number in 2 hours. This is not the instant miracle. This is the drink choice that works by consistency. It works because it supports the right nutritional environment. It works because it can replace a worse beverage. It works because many seniors reach for things in the morning that are loaded with sugar, sodium, syrups, or caffeine, and then wonder why their numbers are unstable. Picture Linda, 74. She thought she was making healthy choices because every morning she had a giant sweetened coffee drink from a drive-thru. It had milk in it, so in her mind it counted as a dairy beverage. But what she was really drinking was sugar, excess calories, and a caffeine load disguised as breakfast. When she switched to a modest, unsweetened morning beverage that actually fit a heart-healthy eating pattern, her entire morning changed. Less jitteriness, less crashing, better routine, better consistency. That's what I want you to hear. Sometimes the benefit is not that the new drink is magical. It's that the old drink was terrible. And if you choose a plant milk, read the label. Many plant milks are not automatically healthier. Some are loaded with added sugar. Some are barely fortified. Some are little more than flavored water with a health halo. If it's going to support blood pressure, keep it simple. Unsweetened. Calcium fortified if it's plant-based. Part of a bigger routine that includes real food, not liquid dessert. Number 4, plain tea. But with one major warning, tea is where people start getting confused because the word tea covers everything from something gentle and helpful to something that can absolutely work against you. So let's separate this carefully. Plain tea can fit into a heart-healthy eating pattern. That includes regular tea for many people, as long as sugar stays low and total caffeine is reasonable. But, and this is a very important but, caffeine affects people differently. Some people tolerate it well, others are sensitive. And if you're taking your blood pressure at home, guidance from Blood Pressure UK is very clear. Don't measure within half an hour of drinking caffeinated beverages like coffee. That means one of the most common senior mistakes is this. They wake up, drink caffeine, and then measure. And when the number is high, they blame their body. No, sometimes they're measuring the drink. Now here's the major warning. Not all herbal teas are harmless. In fact, licorice tea is one of those sneaky products that sounds gentle and natural, but can raise blood pressure in some people. That one detail has shocked a lot of people over the years. They assume herbal means safe. It doesn't. Natural does not mean neutral. So if you have high blood pressure and you're trying to make your morning safer, the question is not just, should I drink tea? The real question is, which tea, how much, when, and what else am I doing around it? Picture Irene, 71. She proudly told everyone she had given up soda and switched to herbal tea. Wonderful, right? Except the blend she loved contained licorice. She drank it daily. She thought she was helping herself. Meanwhile, her pressure kept running higher, and she could not understand why. The label looked wholesome. The routine felt healthy. The effect was not. This is why blood pressure management punishes assumptions. If you enjoy tea, keep it plain. Keep sugar minimal. Respect caffeine if you're sensitive. Don't treat a tea bag like a prescription. And please, don't take your reading right after caffeinated drinks and then act like you've discovered your true baseline. That is not your baseline. That is your bloodstream, having a conversation with your breakfast. Number 3, hibiscus tea. Now we're getting into the drinks with more direct evidence. Hibiscus tea is not internet fantasy. It's one of the few beverages that has been studied repeatedly in relation to blood pressure. And the reason people keep talking about it is simple. There is actually something there. A systematic review and meta-analysis found that hibiscus significantly lowered systolic blood pressure compared with placebo, with the strongest effects seen in people who started with elevated blood pressure. The reduction in the top number was meaningful, not imaginary, not just wellness culture. Real movement. Now, I need you to hear the next sentence very carefully. That does not mean hibiscus tea is a replacement for your doctor. It does not mean you stop medication and switch to flowers and hot water. It does not mean you ignore symptoms, cancel appointments, or assume you can self-manage severe hypertension because a natural product showed promise in a study. The evidence is encouraging, but the studies also had limitations. There was heterogeneity, different extracts, different doses, different methods. That means you should see hibiscus as helpful, promising, and worth discussing, not as a magic cure. But if you are looking for a morning drink that has more than hype behind it, hibiscus deserves attention. Picture Samuel, 67. He's not looking for a miracle. He's looking for something sane. His pressure is mildly elevated. He's already working on sodium, weight, walking, sleep. He wants a better morning drink than sweet coffee, so he starts building a new routine. Water first, quiet time, blood pressure measured correctly, then a cup of unsweetened hibiscus tea. Not because he expects fireworks, but because he wants every morning to move in the right direction. That is how adults manage blood pressure intelligently, not by chasing miracles, by stacking small, evidence-based advantages. Hibiscus works best in that mindset. And here's what makes it so powerful psychologically. It gives people a ritual, a calm one, a deliberate one, a slowing down ritual instead of a panic ritual. And when the thing you are drinking is both soothing and backed by some real evidence, that is a much better place to start your day than fear and stimulants. Just keep this in mind. If you're on medication, especially if your pressure already runs low sometimes, talk to your clinician before making hibiscus a heavy daily habit. Because when you combine medications with additional blood pressure lowering strategies, you want to do it thoughtfully, not recklessly. Number 2, the drink that lowers your number fastest may be the one you stop drinking before you measure. This is the part almost nobody expects, but it may be the most important thing in the entire video. Sometimes the instant improvement people notice has nothing to do with adding a miracle drink. It comes from removing the drink that was distorting the morning. Let me explain. Home monitoring advice says you should not measure your blood pressure within 30 minutes of eating, smoking, exercising, or drinking caffeinated beverages. Why? Because these things can temporarily raise the reading. Not forever. Not because you're doomed. Because you're not measuring under stable conditions. So if you wake up, drink coffee, pace around the house, maybe feel anxious, maybe watch the news, and then you measure, you are not getting a clean answer. You are getting a number contaminated by morning chaos. That matters enormously, because I've seen people completely misread their situation. Picture Carol, 76. She starts her day with a large coffee, the television blaring, a little worry about the bills, a little tension from poor sleep. Then she checks her pressure and gets a number that terrifies her. She repeats it. Higher. Now she's convinced her medication failed. But what if the number she's responding to is not her stable blood pressure? What if it's caffeine, stress, timing, and movement piled on top of a normal morning surge? That's why I'm telling you something that may save you from a lot of unnecessary fear. The fastest morning blood pressure improvement some people will ever see is this. Stop drinking caffeine before the reading. Sit quietly for 5 minutes. Use the bathroom first. Put both feet flat on the floor. Support the arm, then check. Sometimes the difference is not small. And this is where people get fooled by drink claims online. They think a special beverage lowered their pressure instantly, when what really happened is they accidentally stopped sabotaging the measurement. That doesn't mean caffeine is evil. The American Heart Association notes, coffee in moderation appears safe for many healthy adults. But blood pressure is personal. Sensitivity is personal. Timing is personal. And measurement conditions matter. So if you want truthful morning data, do not drink caffeine first and ask questions later. Questions first, reading second, then beverage. And while we're here, let me add another quiet saboteur: alcohol. Some people still cling to the old fantasy that a little alcohol is good for the heart, so they treat it casually. But major heart organizations are very clear that alcohol can raise blood pressure. It is not a blood pressure remedy. It is not part of a heart-healthy plan for lowering hypertension. If you don't drink, don't start because you think it will help your pressure. That idea has harmed a lot of people. So number 2 is not one magic drink. It's a truth. Sometimes the quickest morning improvement comes from stopping the wrong beverage and measuring correctly. And now we're here. Number 1, the morning drink with the strongest short-term blood pressure evidence. Number 1, beetroot juice. This is the drink I saved for last because it is the one that makes people lean forward. Beetroot juice. Not because it's trendy, because it has something the others often don't: evidence for relatively acute effects. Beetroot juice is rich in nitrate. Your body can convert that nitrate through a pathway that ultimately helps generate nitric oxide, and nitric oxide helps blood vessels relax. Relaxed vessels mean blood can move with less resistance. Less resistance means lower pressure. That's the basic story. And when researchers looked at beetroot juice supplementation, they found something that got everybody's attention: reductions in systolic blood pressure that could begin within a few hours in some studies. We're not talking about fairy dust. We're talking about actual measured changes. In the review literature, acute drops in systolic pressure in the range of roughly 5 to 10 points within about 2.5 to 3 hours showed up in some protocols, with effects that could continue up to 24 hours. Longer use in some studies also showed benefits. That is exactly why beetroot juice has become the darling of natural blood pressure conversations. But do not miss the next part. Promising is not the same as universal. Helpful is not the same as guaranteed. And worked in studies is not the same as works better than your medication. If you have severe hypertension, if your medication regimen is still being adjusted, if you have kidney disease, if your numbers are swinging wildly, you do not take a drink study and turn it into DIY cardiology. You use the information correctly. Picture George, 73. He hears that beet juice can lower blood pressure. He has 2 possible futures. In the first future, he gets reckless. He stops listening to his doctor, throws away his pills, and decides juice will handle everything. That future ends badly. In the second future, he gets smart. He understands that beetroot juice may be a useful addition to a heart-healthy morning routine. He measures properly. He keeps records. He watches how his body responds. He discusses it with his clinician if he's on medication. He uses it as one tool, not the whole toolbox. That future makes sense, and that's the future I want for you. Now, a few practical realities. Beetroot juice is not candy. Many people don't love the taste at first. Some commercial products vary in nitrate content. Some are loaded with extra ingredients. Some are tiny shots. Some are huge, sweet beverages pretending to be health products. So don't assume every red bottle on a shelf is doing the same job. And one more thing. If you try beetroot juice and then immediately take your pressure 5 minutes later, hoping for a dramatic change, you're misunderstanding the timeline. The stronger short-term effects in the research were not instant in the sense of minutes, more like hours. That matters, because blood pressure management is where impatience makes fools of people. Beetroot juice may be the strongest evidence-based contender for a meaningful short-term morning effect, but it still works in biology, not magic. So what should your real morning routine look like? This is the part I want you to remember tomorrow morning. Not next month. Tomorrow. If you wake up worried about blood pressure, do not start the day with panic. Start with sequence. First, use the bathroom. Second, drink water. Third, sit quietly for 5 minutes. Fourth, if you monitor at home, measure before caffeine, before breakfast, before rushing around, and preferably before taking medication if your doctor has asked you to monitor that way. Fifth, once you have your real reading, then choose your beverage intentionally. If your goal is a neutral, safe foundation, water. If your goal is to support a heart-healthy eating pattern, unsweetened low-fat milk or a fortified unsweetened soy milk can make sense. If your goal is a calm, low-sugar ritual with research behind it, hibiscus tea deserves a look. If your goal is the strongest short-term beverage evidence, beetroot juice is the one to know. And whatever you choose, do not bury it in sugar. Do not turn it into dessert. Do not assume organic means effective. Do not assume herbal means safe. And do not, under any circumstance, stop taking your prescribed medication just because your home reading improves for a few days. That is not how this works. Blood pressure is one of the most deceptive numbers in medicine. It responds to sleep, stress, bladder status, arm position, caffeine, movement, timing, and emotion. So if you're going to use drinks as part of your strategy, you have to do it with discipline. Let me tell you the biggest mindset shift of all. Stop asking, what can I drink to force my pressure down right now? Start asking, what morning routine gives me the most honest number and the healthiest direction? That one change in thinking can save you from so much confusion. Because honestly, the seniors who do best with blood pressure are usually not the ones chasing the most exciting tip. They're the ones building the most consistent mornings. They know what they drink. They know when they measure. They know what their usual numbers are. They know when something is truly off. And they know the difference between management and panic. That is real control. Before we finish, I want to talk to the person who clicked this video because they are scared. Maybe that's you. Maybe you woke up this morning, saw a number you didn't like, and now you're here searching for something, anything, that feels like relief. I understand that, but please hear me. Relief and recklessness are not the same thing. A better morning drink can absolutely help. The right choices can support lower pressure. The wrong drinks can absolutely make it worse. And one evidence-backed option may lower the top number within hours in some people. All of that is true. But the safest power move is not blind hope. It's informed consistency. So tomorrow morning, don't guess. Don't chase headlines. Don't let a fancy label make medical decisions for you. Use water as your reset. Use measurement correctly. Use hibiscus and beetroot intelligently. Use heart-healthy beverage choices to replace the drinks that have been working against you. And use your doctor as your partner, not your backup plan after internet experiments go wrong. That is how you protect your brain. That is how you protect your heart. That is how you protect your kidneys. And that is how you keep one high number from turning into a whole day of fear. If this video helped you, subscribe to the channel and stay with me, because this is exactly what we do here. We take confusing health topics, strip away the hype, and give you what actually helps. And please share this video with a parent, a spouse, a friend, or anyone checking blood pressure at home, because a lot of people do not need more noise. They need a calmer morning. They need a smarter routine. And sometimes they just need to know that the first drink of the day matters more than they ever realized. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.